some stress and headache. The women's team, of course, are also out of the World Cup race, bundled out by Cameroon's indomitable Lionesses. These are a team that Mwamburi follows very closely. Yeah. And of course, you at Nyayo following the proceedings. Were Cameroon way too good, or probably we didn't just get it right?
Asante sana Swila, kama ulivyosema ni kwamba nilikuwa katika uwanja wa Nyayo kufuatilia mechi na kwa kweli ungeona kwamba Cameroon kwanza kabisa waliwazidi nguvu timu ya Kenya. Kwa sababu tuangalie wale wachezaji ambao kwamba kwanza ni warefu, alafu kiangalia ni kwamba wamekula wakashiba, wana nguvu, ishara ya kwamba kama unataka kumtackle lazima uweze kujikaza zaidi. Lakini tuangalie kwa Building Odemba kwenye uteuzi wake katika ile timu ya taifa. Ukiangalia ni kwamba aliwakosa wachezaji 8 ambao walikuwa kikalia mtihani wao wa KCSE, na baadhi ya wadau wakawa na hoja kwamba kama ni swala la kitaifa, kwa nini labda kusingekuwa na mpangilio kwa wizara, kuona ya kwamba labda wizara ya elimu, shirikisho linaandikia wizara ya elimu kuambia kwamba hii ni mechi ya taifa, hili ni swala la taifa, kwa nini usiwachilie wachezaji 8 ambao kwamba wanakalia mtihani, labda kuwe na mpangilio kama watapata mtihani ambao kwamba ni speciali ambao angesaidia ile timu. Kwa sababu ukiangalia ile timu kwamba kuna captain ambaye kwamba ni Hato ni kijana ambaye kwamba kazi yake ni nzuri, tulimwona katika mechi ya Angola. Tulikosa
But let me interrupt.
Yes.
Of course, national exams, these things come once in a year. Definitely I've prepared for this. I want to sit my exams basically.
India.
But now as a coach, you were preparing for this game in full knowledge that I won't have Mwamburi, I won't have Isia and Shitera. That now raises the question of scouting, player selection, and of course pedigree within a team. I know I won't have you. What do I do? Who else can fit into Mwamburi's shoe? Who else can fit in that defense? Is it naivety?
Ambapo walifanya, ambapo tuliona na kocha mwenyewe kuna baadhi ya wachezaji ambao kwamba walichukuliwa, wengi ni wachezaji ambao ni wachanga ambao waliitwa katika kile kikosi. Na kocha akasema kwamba hakutubia hiyo kama sababu ya kuona kwamba alipoteza ile mchezo. Lakini ukiangalia ni kwamba Cameroon ni timu ambayo kwamba imejeli kwa kambi kwa muda mrefu. Hii ni mechi ambayo kwamba unatarajia, kwa sababu ulifungwa magoli 3, ulihitaji kuweza kufunga zaidi ya magoli 4 ili kuweza kufuzu. Kwa hiyo kivyangu naweza kusema kwamba kwa sababu ile mpangilio, maana hii ni World Cup, haijawahi tokea katika historia ya Kenya kwa kwamba timu ya Kenya inafuzu katika kombe la dunia Colombia. Tulikuwa tumebaki katika kiunzi cha mwisho kuweza kwenda katika ile mchezo. Ukiangalia katika ile mchezo tulizidiwa pumzi katika kipindi cha kwanza, labda kipindi cha pili ndio tulijaribu kuweza kuingia katika kuweza kurejea mchezoni. Tulibadilisha kipa, kama ulifuatilia vizuri ile mchezo. Kipindi cha kwanza kipa hakuwa na uwezo wa kuweza kuhimili mipigo. Kuna mchezaji anaitwa Eto, yule captain wa timu ya Cameroon, ambaye aliweza kufunga magoli 3 katika ile timu. Kwa hiyo kivyangu naweza kusema kwamba ni masikitiko makubwa sana kuona timu ya Rising Starlets ikiondolewa. Niliona pia Fasila Adhiambo, mchezaji mzuri sana wa timu ya Ulinzi Starlets, ambaye alilimbikiza kadi 2 za njano kucheza katika ile mchezo. Kwa hiyo ni masikitiko makubwa sana, lakini na imani ya kwamba tutakuwa tuna capitalize katika timu kuu ambayo itakuwa inacheza dhidi ya Botswana.
I think in the spirit of CBC, as he says, we should have had a special arrangement, because these girls might be very good on the field, but I don't know how they perform in class. But again, in the spirit of CBC, the Ministry of Education and Sports will have organized a middle ground, so that this is a match that would have won. Look at how we played against Angola. So if we had maintained the team, it is a match we would have won, despite the fact that this was a revenge match. Remember, the senior team eliminated Cameroon. So they came with that revenge mission. So 2 things worked out. We missed our 8 players, but again, they came with a mission tactic, with a revenge tactic, which really worked. They beat us in Cameroon 3-0. Beat us.
So it was an uphill task.
So it was an uphill task. But again, too much burden on the national team women's coach, Coach Building Odemba. I think it's high time we found more ladies and coaches who would take up and share some.
Is there real quick in 30 seconds on this match?
Well, Swila, I would say that number one, I excuse Beldin. When you don't have your first 8 players, then you don't have a complete team. is quite a job. Number two is to say that this is a developmental team, and therefore you don't have the luxury like the one we are discussing about the Harambee Stars. You're trying to get girls from high school, and you know, to assemble such a team is not such an easy task. And we knew for sure after the senior team Harambee Stars, still led by Harambee Stars, led by Beldin, ousted Cameroon from the AFCON qualifiers. Then they were to come really trying to revenge. They did so. And I liked what she said after the match. She said that Cameroon were better than us. And she said that I was telling my girls, don't fear them in the second match, but still they could not, you know, deal with that kind of fear. It cost us. Now, one thing that I've liked is that out of this developmental team, as Mwamburi mentioned, two ladies already have been called up for the team, senior team that now is preparing for Botswana. We have King Lady and Fasila Adhiambo that you mentioned, meaning that Beldin has been mentioned to be a developmental coach, that we are seeing some transition. And I think this gets back to the conversation we were having. Are we seeing the same quick transition from the men's side, you know, the junior teams to the senior teams? Because if really we are going to see this, you know, this time around, I know that discussion is coming up, but already we have seen a player like Ezra Kida dropped from the senior team, and we are seeing Fasila coming in. So when are we going to see some convincing players coming up, you know, from the men's side, and we are seeing these ones can really get into the shoes and replace them?
Arocho, do we go to the grassroots to build the teams? Do we give more chances, scouting mission?
No, I think the grassroots mission was done. And once again, I'd like to blame the government. Something ought to have been done. The exams were there, yes, but there's a way we can find a way of making sure that these girls are there. The fact that these guys did not travel to Cameroon, guys, as much as, and I'll echo Becky's sentiments, in the spirits of CBC, we are moving off the curriculum, the school curriculum. Why can't we make sure that these ladies are there? Because something could have happened. Their life could have changed.
Yes.
But when you give the national team coach a team minus 8 of his players, surely what do you expect? And then the idea you're trying to come up with that we try and get other players. These are our best. You know, the national team is not a club where you can pick someone from another club to replace. This is the national team, and these are the players, the best players that we've picked. We failed our national team coach, and I believe that when we are going to play Botswana in the next match, in any case, such things do happen. For God's sake, this is the national team.
And all these two things are national assignments.
They are all national assignments.
A very good example, because examples are good in building cases. 2016, when we were going for the AFCON, I remember Dogo Mwanalima Adam was going for her exam, so she couldn't go. Now, tell me today, Dogo, does she eat from her books?
From that exam or from football?
Let's go to